Hello, beautiful souls. So, my name's Anya Lily from Spiritual Soul Center. This is the beautiful, magnificent Z Collective. And we are so thrilled to be getting together today to connect with you, magical souls, and everyone that this video is reaching, and any of this information that we're sharing today is reaching. We're just very grateful that you are opening your hearts to receive our frequency today. We kind of just free flowing today. We're letting the energy just come in, and we're just letting ourselves channel in on what we need to bring to you guys, because we have some exciting news. We have an exciting announcement. We've been working behind the scenes. There's quite a few of us in this ascension process that have been working together behind the scenes to create this. And it's finally time to share it with everyone. And so it's a super exciting time. But yeah, for us, it's kind of something we have been building and talking about, and brought the vision in quite a few months ago. So it's something that's not so new to us, but we just wanted to kind of express our excitement and share the details and everything that's coming up about our upcoming event. So we are running a New Earth Gathering in December the 2nd till the 5th of this year, 2024. And it is going to be a soul family reunion. It's going to be a 3-night soul family reunion that's filled with transformations, activations, sacred land, beautiful, powerful souls, people like the magical Z, Wit, Honey, Brad Wanze, Abby Wynn, and some surprise special guests as well. So there's going to be a whole range of powerful light workers of the ascension that are going to be coming together and bringing all their magical people as well. So I'm really honored to have Z at our powerful event and to see her bring her magic and all the magical exciting things that she brings, because she really is a one of a kind being in this human experience. And I'm very grateful to have reconnected and to be connecting in person this year. It's going to be magical. So thank you, Z, for coming and joining us in this beautiful process.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for this. I mean, the first time that I heard you and felt you bring this vision into space, I was ecstatic because the fact that we now get to celebrate how much work we've done, not only in our astral lives, in our physical human consciousness, and the ability to bring it together and really make more waves, but not just that, give us the opportunity to connect with each other as a community and expand ourselves and have some fun for once. I mean, really.
So true. So true. That's the one thing that I think throughout this journey, like it has been, I'll be careful with the words I use because I know about the censorship is real. But throughout the journey, it's been a tough one. We have spent a lot of time on our own. We've spent a lot of time, battling through a journey of a spiritual WAR. We've been going through this experience, and we have been quite alone throughout that. And there's been some dark times, there's been some dark nights of the soul. And for a lot of you that'll be watching this video, you will have already embarked down your ascension journey by this point, by even connecting in with this frequency. So you'll know what I mean by the dark night of the soul. And everyone's looks differently, and everyone's lasts differently, and everyone's is a different experience to them in the human experience. But it's not something that is pleasant. I think sometimes the perception of awakening is that it's going to be rainbows and sunshine and everything's going to be fantastic in the new earth. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that there's going to be moments of that frequency, but in as human life is, it's never one stable frequency. And to experience joy and happiness and love and excitement and celebration, we have to go through the turmoil and the struggle and the pain and the suffering to have something to celebrate for. We've been
Yeah.
through all this experience, and this is not just even about our ascension process at this time and specifically from 2012 onwards. It's also about the whole journey throughout the human race, and
Mhm.
the fact that we are breaking this cycle after 26,000 years or more, and being able to actually recommit to what it means to be living in this human experience and redefining that. And as deep and massive and huge as that sounds, I really feel like that's the frequency that's coming in for this event. It's to initiate that, and it's to start the process of the remembrance of who we are on a physical level in this earth, and bringing that into the new earth and help creating the new earth by anchoring and embodying that frequency. in a space that's held for you with land that's sacred and blessed, and ancestors and angels and Indians and all the beings that are going to be there in the spiritual realm, as well as then all the physical beings that are going to be there. There is limited tickets, so there's 150 tickets plus then all the guest speakers and everybody else. So there is going to be a select group of us that will be available for the event, and those select souls are all going to be kind of anchoring in for a reason. Everyone that's going to be at this event is going to be for a reason. And what they take out of this experience and then what they take back with them is kind of the whole purpose of why we're doing this. It's to be able to create the new earth on the higher level. So, yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. The celebration is the whole reason why we're getting together in the first place. It's going to be magical.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. Really, we get to celebrate as a human collective too, because we as a collective have worked so hard. Really, we've really challenged ourselves to be at this point right now. And so to really, just like you said, anchor in the frequency, hold it within our bodies, and also allow our bodies to know that we can bring all of that into the new earth and recirculate the joy aspect, the fun aspect, the play aspect. It doesn't have to be so hard or strenuous anymore. It doesn't have to be so dark or lonely anymore. That's
Exactly.
really the new vibration coming into this. It's so beautiful.
Mhm. And that's exactly the point, is that yes, we've been through all that darkness, but this is like the ending of them chapters. It's the finalization. And don't get me wrong, I still feel between September and October and throughout November, we're still going to be wrapping up them kind of like, as it comes towards the Yuletide period, you kind of get everything ready in the manic human fall, the Christmas period. It's kind of like the same thing, but in a spiritual level. You will be finishing everything that you will be needing closure on, and kind of closing the books right in the last chapters, so that you can truly finish that book and put it down and know that that doesn't need to be revisited. Those
Mhm,
trauma loops, those patterns, those programs, those things that we've carried throughout so many years don't
mhm,
need to be brought with us into this new earth. And I think this event is going to be a kind of a mark of that. And we've got some powerful, powerful people that will be bringing their individual workshops and their individual activations, including Z. So there's some really exciting things that will be coming out of them in terms of what you can get off these experiences and what you can gain out of this. This is going to be kind of a one-off experience where you can have all these workshops and activations available for you all in a condensed period of time, and the transformation that you can go through. I couldn't facilitate this alone, because this is a facilitation of all of these light workers and their skills and gifts and knowledge and throughout their lifetimes combined to bring you guys this tailored experience for these activations. So it is something that is a very much a one-off experience. And
mhm.
I think it's all about if you call to come, because it's definitely a soul remembrance, a soul reunion.
It is, it is. And if you do feel called to come, this is really an exquisite journey, because leading up to this, like you said, it will be a lot of endings of chapters, as the event really opens the door for stabilizing into the new earth. And
Mhm.
with a really safe, secure space that's super supported, the energies are really aligned, and it's just it's stunning. I'm just going to say that the whole aspect of it is stunning. And so I'm excited for those who tap into this to really work this journey with us together as a co-creative collective community, and to see where this goes is it's just juicy. I'm excited for it.
Right, because where there's expansions, there's always shedding and there's always releasing. And I know from running the retreat in Spain last year, it was a mind, body, soul retreat. And you
Mhm,
could really see the transformation throughout each day. And from the beginning of the week to the end of the week, I think it was 5 days, the whole kind of experience. By the end of it, it was a whole transformation of everyone involved, including those that was facilitating. So, like you say, it is exciting, and it is kind of something that we can't also wait to see what we experience too, because every event I've facilitated at, whether it was Mark Atwood's Morocco retreat or,
mhm,
some of Mark Atwood's other retreats, or my events, or my events that I've run around the world, it's been a different thing that I've gained from it each time.
mhm.
And so, we're all going to be sharing, learning, experiencing, sharing stories. we'll be all dining together and we'll be all, experiencing, beautiful, soulful meals together where we can share experiences and really connect on a personal level. And the celebration will be the main point on the final evening, which will be the Freedom of Spirit Ball, which is where we can kind of just be totally free, let ourselves be wonderfully wild and free in this fairy forest winter wonderland attire. Let your inner child run free, get your ball gown and your wings out and your top hats and everything that makes you feel extravagant and activated and truly in your authentic self. I think it's really important that we are embodying that at this moment and allowing that to flow. There's going to be live music, I'm going to be performing live, singing, there'll be other musicians in a band, there'll be a DJ, there'll be music on all night. So there'll just be really powerful musical activations as well as speeches from some different the guest speakers that are coming, the pioneers of the ascension. So it's going to be something that truly, again, it won't be replicated in this way. It will never be in the same again. So if you are feeling called to come, I would definitely say call it in. If it's something that you can physically, go towards, then definitely do that if you've been called to do that. There is a early bird tickets that you can get to make sure that you can pay in installations. They are available for a limited time. So if you are wanting to do that option, make sure you are checking that out. But also, if you are thinking to yourself, oh, this is not something I can do, but I really want to do it, call this experience in, see yourself there, call it in and really bring it home to you. I've experienced that before when I wanted to go to events and things like that. And I've looked at something and thought, oh, I'll never be able to go, can't afford it, And then I've been either invited to facilitate or I got given unexpected finances that allowed me to invest in myself. And those investments in self have never let me down. So I would say if this is something you are called to do, call it home and call it in and come join us for our soul family reunion because we are really excited to have you there.
Yeah, absolutely. Really just embody it. Just like you said, bring the embodiment piece in because that is what this whole ball is about. We're going to embody it now. When you do call it in, it's I have it now and I know I'm going to be there. And regardless of however you get yourself there, we'll see you there. That's the pathway that we're creating with this.
Mm-hmm.
And we are doing this with you. That's another thing. We're doing this with you. We're
Yep.
learning just as much as you are.
Yep.
We're coming in it as equals. And every single speaker has something very valuable to bring in, and so does everybody who comes in has something just as equally as valuable to bring to the space. So I'm very grateful for you, Anya, for having this vision and then allowing everybody else to help support the process. And for all of those who are ready and willing to kind of tap into this, I'm so excited to see you there, to be with you, to work alongside with you, and to have a really authentic expression.
No, truly, truly. And I'm really glad you brought that up, Z, because I struggle sometimes with the whole ego concept. I really don't like the concept of pedestals or the concept of anyone kind of being under someone else just because they're more vocally knowledgeable about this ascension, because every single one of us has our own puzzle piece for this kind of beautiful mosaic picture that we are creating. And we're not here to be carbon copies of each other. We're here to be our own individual self. And some are called to share that message publicly. Some are called to do the energy work, the grid work, the frequency, the work behind the scenes, the work with the children, the work with people. Like there's so many different roles of this ascension. And there isn't a right or a wrong way or a better or a lesser, or that's such a human concept. And so I'm really glad that's been brought up, because presenting it into the human was difficult, because obviously these are guest speakers, but like you say, we're all bringing something magically unique, and it's just a case of people being more known in the human world for what they are bringing at this moment in time, which are also what I call light worker connectors. So they are like little anchor points throughout the ascension where people can come together and connect with each other. Mark Atwood has been one for a lot of us because he brought a lot of us together. And then Honey has been one for me, bringing a lot of us together, like me and you and Wit and all these beautiful other souls. So it is important to recognize them little moments of activations and remembrances, because we are all connected on a soul level, those that feel this frequency, those that are in the soul family. And it is kind of a knowing that you're like, yeah, I kind of know you, I feel this familiarity. And it's just letting the human remember the connection without the fear of being judged or fear of not being liked for your true self. Because the more you're embodying your true frequency, the more recognizable it is to your soul family, because they know you by your authentic one, not by your human image. So that's really important to remember.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. The more you are in your fullest expression, the more you will attract your family. And for me, being around my family, it is just entirely me. I don't. There's no in betweens in there. I don't have to. It's just me, and that's the beautiful aspect of this. And that was our relationship when we first started. This was like, oh look, we're ourselves. I know you. Hey,
Hey, hey over there. It was
hi.
so funny. I remember I was talking, obviously, me and Honey have connected a little while ago, and I was talking to Honey about the event and everything. And then I was like, yeah, I was just kind of in my own vibe thinking about things. And then I was out walking in America because this is where the vision came in, as you know. I was out walking free late at night. And I got really called to watch a video. And I don't often watch videos anymore because I'm just so busy in the human and everything. And I like to keep my own channel my own because sometimes I get a bit overwhelmed with everything else. So I don't often watch them anymore, but I did. I put one on of you and Honey, and I was listening to it, and I was like, I really need to message Z. So I jumped off the video and I messaged Z like, hey, I'd love to connect and kind of chat. Let's have a call. Da, da, da. And then as second I went back to the video and played it, Z's like, yeah, it's really important time to reach out to your soul family and reconnect and get in touch. And I was like, oh, I received that message, like seconds before, because that's how in tune we are with each other. I didn't even
Yeah.
wait for the human to get the conscious message. I just was thinking about it, and then I got the energetic confirmation of like, yeah, reach out to your soul family before it was even spoken in the human world. And then listening to it was the human embodiment and confirmation of like, oh, that's so funny that all synchronized in that way. So it's just a funny example I wanted to share at how divinely synchronized it can be. Meeting Honey was the same, and meeting all you guys, different people that I've met throughout this ascension, like, I didn't know many people coming into this journey. I've not been in this world in a public way or in a massive way for a long time. I've kind of just done my own thing and worked throughout the ascension since being
Yeah.
like 16, 17. So it's really interesting now to be like, oh, there's not just me out there, there's loads of other crazy people like me. And really great that we can all share this energy and run events and be a part of. And I think that's why I have such a big passion for like getting people together at the moment, is because for a long time that was all I needed, was people that saw me, people that held space for
Yeah.
me, people that
Mhm.
accepted me for me. And it wasn't until experiencing that in Morocco and then in Spain and then at the other events that I've facilitated and been a part of, that I actually truly felt that. And I think it's like now a calling of mine to be able to access that, but also bring that for other people and feel that frequency, because it is something that you really can't find anywhere else, that sense of true belonging and
Mhm.
acceptance.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely, and there's no words for it. That was
No.
really beautifully expressed. There's really no words for it, and that's like my path away in my body where that was at really young. I started having visions at 3 years old, and I'm sure prior to that too as well, but the ones that I can remember from 3 years old all the way in the ascension process, and it was very lonely up until probably about 4 years ago or so when the frequency just shifted into, "Now we're coming back into unity, everybody. It's been a good run."
I
Solo.
totally feel that. Totally feel that. It was like, what year were we in 2024? Yeah. That was when for me I got the call in to kind of be more involved in the world of connection ascension. But it wasn't until like 2022 I actually then came into my soul family and felt that remembrance, because I had people that loved me. Don't get me wrong, I'm very loved. And that's the difference. Like I find it hard to explain sometimes because I didn't grow up in an extremely abusive, traumatizing house or anything like that. I grew up in a house where I was very loved, and I kind of was, one of my parents liked aliens, one of them liked spirits, so it was kind of a great open energy. Like you do you, So as long as you're okay, you keep doing you, and it was so I was felt kind of accepted and loved and able to go to a certain extent, to be myself, and so. I felt like, why am I feeling like there's something missing when I had love and I had nice parents and a nice family and nice friends, and I'd been with my partner since we met at 11, we've been together since 13, so it's like I had a lot of love around me, but still felt this deep loneliness. And it was really strange to explain. It almost feels like you're ungrateful, but it wasn't. It was a sense of, I can't truly explain to people why my brain sits there and goes, do, 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 and all these things about the ascension and all these questions. And, I ask questions, and then people around me are like, I just don't think we're meant to know these things. And I'm like, but then why would I want to know them? Why would I be asking the question? And it's like, I think I need to know. And so then it was like so fantastic to be able to connect with people like you and Honey and Abby and all
Yeah.
these people in the ascension to be like, oh, guys, what do you think about this? And obviously, I run a Tuesday night group now, and our Tuesday night group, we ask everything and anything. And it's so
Oh,
great
yeah.
to be able to have that group and these groups of people that see each other so wholly and love each
Mhm.
other for who they are, but also it's not conditional and it's not limited and it's not
Right.
restricted. And it's really beautiful to experience all aspects of love and all those different connections. And I would love everyone to be able to feel that, especially if they've felt the loneliness that some of us have.
Yes, yes, yes. At that point, it's important for us and our bodies to really have that feeling. I
Mm.
can speak for myself being in groups like that or being at the vibration now where we can really help each other move through the things. Oh my gosh, it is glorious. It's so exciting. Yeah, it feels so good to be open with everything.
Mhm. No, I totally agree. Like I was reflecting on that because in my current locational place where I'm at, I do feel sometimes physically alone. And I was
Mhm.
like, it's interesting when I was in America with Madeline and then Honey and Crystal and all these powerful people and just kind of loving people too that just didn't do much, but was frequency wise just kind of different there, emotionally there, able to hold space for my big emotions and the amount that I feel and the extent of that and what that is. And, to be there, my nervous system experienced like such a reset. And that's where the creational idea was able to come through because I wasn't in fight or flight. I wasn't in stress. I wasn't in anxiety. I wasn't in fear. I was in pure peace. And it's interesting to see that reflection, and being back in an environment where I do feel more of a heightened sense of fight or flight energy, and I have to kind of work on regulating that. It's
Right.
interesting to see the difference and to experience the difference when you are truly held to then coming
Yes.
back to an environment where you don't feel that same physical energy, but you've still got it, obviously in there in that way, but just not sometimes on the physical level. And it is different. And it is, I think that's why, again, one of the reasons I think it's important to do this in December and to get everyone together. And I think December is a good time because I think it's going to be everything is coming to a close to be ready to be
Mhm.
celebrated and to be bringing in this new earth with the joy. And also
Yes.
it's bringing in the beginning of the Yuletide season at the very beginning of December, so we're able to kind of shed that season of darkness with light.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful.
No, no, thank you. I feel like with you, I get on and I'm like, oh, I've become a poet now. You must give
Precisely.
yourself access to my words more because I am good with words and I do love I love being human. This is one thing about me. I'm a very different light worker. A lot of light workers have the calling to go back home or be elsewhere. And I'm like, nope, I'm good. Like my Tuesday night group, they're like, whenever I see you in astral, you just look the same as a human. Like I always see everyone else as like energy and you just look like the human. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I like being a human. Like I like being me. I like being this
I love
experience.
it.
And I also like being the middleman or the walkie-talkie or the translator between the realms because
Yes.
I can function very much in complete fairyland, as I call it, like just oblivious
Uh-huh.
to the world. And before I had children, I very much lived in that world 90% of the time. It was very rare to come down from there. Whereas now I've experienced an integration of more so being in the human while still experiencing like that energy going on. And it was really difficult to adjust to at first, but now I'm finding more of a flow to it. I'm
Mhm.
remembering like my role that I used to do before a lot, which is being a translator and being a bridge.
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
been a bridge,
Mhm.
a bridge between the higher realms and also the human realm. And I swear a lot and I do things a lot of light workers wouldn't, and I like to eat shit food sometimes and watch shit telly sometimes and do shit things because that's part of being human and not bad things, but things that are not ascendedly mastered. And I don't know. I got over it a
Ascended
long time
kosher.
ago. Yeah, I just thought, well, that's what brings me joy. And I don't overindulge in it and I don't abuse it and I don't use it, as something that's like a distraction away from pain. I very
Right.
much embody all the cycles of human. And sometimes I
Yeah.
really don't like being human when it's very intense and very painful. But I also enjoy the fact that we are able to articulate that and understand it and process it and embody it and release it and be aware of these
Yes.
shifts and also
Mhm.
have such a deep gratitude for the reflections of being human. And I just, yeah, I don't know why I went
Mhm.
on that tangent, but I do like being human. And I think it's I think it's sometimes I think that's the point. We have to learn how to
Yeah,
live as a higher being,
yes.
also as a
Mhm.
human. We didn't come here to not be human. We came here to
Exactly.
figure out how
Mhm.
to be this higher being in a human's body. And, maybe that's why I don't resist it. I enjoy the multifaceted roller coaster being human brings.
That to me is ascension right there. That's how I would define it for myself. Because I love all those facets too. I like to have my ice cream occasionally. I like to dress
Mhm,
up in my unicorn onesie. I like to
mhm, mhm.
I like to
All
get
that,
down with the music because
right?
that's my truest expression, and that's
Mhm,
really, again, that's what we're bringing into this. We want your truest expression here, the crazy, the weird, the human aspects of you that make you uniquely you, and the
mhm.
roller coaster aspect of it, because the ascended aspect or the ascended master aspect from my perspective is also a construct. Like,
Right,
we
right.
are right here to be right here exactly where we're at, and that's the embodiment piece to me. So I appreciate that. Thank you
No,
for
I
that.
totally agree. And I love meeting. That's why I think we're so connected because it's very rare you find that. I think that's why I was kept away from the spiritual industry, if you will, for a
Mhm.
while because I don't think I had a fit in there, especially not when there was a lot of ego going on in the world. And I think it kind of put me off a little bit because
Sure.
that's not how I see, like you say, being spiritually evolved. I don't think we came here to be an ascended angel. That's not what we came here to be. So why would we get to
Right.
being a breatharian that doesn't eat any food and that sometimes like I've tried that, don't get me wrong. I became vegetarian. I was a feminist. I was doing this. I was doing that. I'd done the narrative of trying to be the person that you think you need to be that spiritual person. And it just took my joy. I didn't enjoy food anymore. I didn't enjoy conversations anymore. I just felt like such a confrontational person. And just everything that brought me joy was changed by obligation of the ego. And I
Yes.
think that's when
Mhm.
it really became like, yeah, I've really got to stand start bringing and doing what brings me
Yes,
joy, and
exactly.
yeah, and I don't feel like sometimes I think we all, or I do, I get the imposter thing of thinking like, well, I help a lot of people and I work through a lot of things at a
Sure.
very high level. But then sometimes I still really struggle. And like you say, the roller coaster, I feel things so intensely. So I'll be like floating on cloud nine. And then the next minute I'm like, the world is ending. I feel like my life is over. It's like so intense for me. And I'm like, oh, sometimes it's hard to work in emotional regulation and trauma release when you're having a
Yes,
really extreme day, and so
yes,
postpartum and all these other hormones things didn't
yeah,
help. But it was, it's interesting. And I think accepting that we are
yes,
not meant to be perfect, no matter what spiritual facilitator you are, you're not meant to be perfect or an emotionless robot. We're not
right,
here to be completely numb emotionally. My personal
exactly,
opinion, I don't
mhm,
think the game is neutrality. Maybe it is for some people, good for them, but I'm a very feeling person. And I think the whole point is to feel, but be able
sure,
to feel healthily rather than suppressing it. And so, I think that's the point in accessing that and learning how to do it without suppression of rage and anger and fear and
sure,
shame and guilt and
yep,
all the
yep,
human constructs that we've been taught to feel, which I still possess a lot of them. We're still working through it as a human race. It is what
absolutely, like, I'm there with you in
yeah.
vulnerability, like, that is the human experience. It goes through these waves, and it is like writing on a rainbow, and I've got the music, I'm so grateful, and it's just one thing that passes by, and I'm like, I'm face planted right at the moment, and I'm also gonna embrace that right? You know?
A
I'm
few
like,
seconds it can change real quick.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
so
I feel like
funny.
it's embodying both of those aspects. And that to me is, I don't even like to use the word enlightenment because that brings it to a
Yes.
space of inequality, but
Mhm.
that's ascension to me, and being the self, that embodiment of like, I'm in a low right now. And guess
Yep.
what? I'm gonna embody it
And
because
I'm
that
good
is my
with that.
human experience.
Yeah,
Yep. Gonna
exactly,
do it.
exactly. Like I find it difficult and I acknowledge that sometimes, especially like being a mom and trying to be a very regulated, calm mom that don't, what's the word, like project any unnecessary emotions. Obviously, he's going to see normal human emotion, but you don't want it to be over the top all the time if you are in a dysregulated state. And so when you are working on that, it's kind of like, oh, finding that balance between being accepting of the emotion and also then like I've started implementing something I did years ago and then slipped out of, which is meditating first thing in the morning. And I used to do it for years, like literally like 4 years in a row. And I think because I just did it for them years, my brain was like, oh yeah, I've done that. And then I was like, well, but you're not doing that, you know? And I was like, but you're not doing that, you know? So I kind of had to have that remembrance of self lately. And like someone in my group ironically told me like we give each other messages, and I got the message I need to meditate. And I was like, yeah, I'll take that, because I can meditate on demand, but I don't do it on routine. And this is the problem. Like, not that it has to be in routine, but I don't do it regularly enough, because yes, I can do it on demand, but I'm not setting that intention to do it. So it was kind of creating that intentional frequency to remember to do them things and to bring in that kind of consistency and stuff like that. And I'm really excited for your workshop that you are bringing to the event, because that's going to be kind of, I'm sure we'll do another video because we're running a little bit out of time, but I'm sure we'll talk about it on the next video. But I think it'll be really exciting to give everyone a little teaser of what it's going to be, a little bit kind of, we don't need to tell them too much, but giving them an excitement. There's going to be some very activating. I will not be missing this workshop, just
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm coming in to really do an activation in shifting and quantum leaping. And let's just leave it at that and let it culminate with that and
I
what
love
that
that.
means and what that looks like and how that's going to look like in the human perspective.
Yeah.
But really breaking down the particle aspect of it into how can I bring this into my reality now, and how do I get to shift into this new earth in confidence in myself, in my fullest expression. It's really what I want to bring into that.
Truly. I'm honestly so excited for that. I'm super excited. Like, there's some I'm really excited for, but that one is definitely, because that's the thing. Because
Mhm.
we all bring a different part of this ascension, we all are not missing a different part, but yeah, kind of lack of human words. We are all looking for different parts and different answers and different guidance. And that's something I feel very drawn to physically integrate more knowledge on. I feel like in the astral, yeah, I'd be okay. I'm good with that. But in the human, actually bringing in that information for me, it's very much calling me to learn more about that and do a bit more of that work. So I'm super excited, and I feel like that'll be the case with the other workshops that we are bringing forward from everybody else. There'll be some that you're really drawn to, and some that you may be kind of a bit intrigued and maybe not. So, that's absolutely fine. It'll be what your soul needs at that time. So definitely just be listening to them callings. But I'm super excited for what you'll be
Me
bringing to our event. It's going to be magical. And yeah, there's going to be just so much. There's, on a logistical level, like I said, there's 150 tickets and there's less accommodation. So there is accommodation on the grounds, but there is less accommodation available. If you do not manage to get accommodation on the grounds, there is accommodation that's pretty much in the same distance as what's on the ground. So there is like Airbnbs and little holiday homes and cottages and
Yeah.
things like that, and even a local travel lodge and things like that. So there's loads of things. This is all on the website, all the local airports, everything like that. But we've got beautiful people traveling in from overseas, like beautiful Wit and Z and
Yes.
Honey, Abby and Brad. Everyone really other than me is traveling from overseas. So it's gonna be, I just thought
Yeah.
about it, I was like, oh yeah, well that's kind of everybody. So yeah, everybody's coming from overseas other than me. So that's great. And Crystal and
Exactly.
Madeline, they've helped me create this into the human world, and they'll be also flying in from overseas. So much has gone into this, guys, and it is truly, it's about serving everyone else, serving each other, serving self, be able to create for ourselves, be able to open ourselves up to receiving, to exchanging, to just feeling this joy and this love. And like Z said at the beginning, it's all about the celebration. And what a perfect time, other than to celebrate, than a beautiful freedom of spirit ball with a big ball gown and magical decor and lights and food and music and dancing. And we're even going to do like a traditional dance, like
Yes.
like a waltz kind of thing. And we're going to do, see, that shows how much knowledge I have on this. But Madeline's going to give us all a traditional dance lesson, which again, I will not be missing that one either, because I very much
Cool.
that. So we'll be, you'll see me there at them too. But yeah, we'll be doing a bit of practicing first before the event. So I think it'll be like the day before, whatever. So all the schedule will be there. So we'll be doing some practicing and a bit of a fun, light-hearted kind of dance session to be able to bring in that remembrance of divine feminine energy as well, because and
Mhm.
also divine masculine. It's quite important to me that we have the masculine presence there as well, in
For
whatever
sure.
ways. So whether that's female, male, it's about the union of the two, divine masculine and feminine energies. And I think this ball is the great harmonizing of that over the 3 nights that we'll be there. There's the on-site spa, we'll be doing wild swimming, there's the fairy forest guided breath work and forest walk. There's, there's limited tickets for the Soma Dome, the float tank. There's so much, guys. Check it all out on the website because I feel like I'm just reeling off everything now. So you can all check it out yourself, see what you're drawn to. We've shared our little bit of magic, but yeah, truly, I'm very honored to have you come in with us, Z, and to be a part of this, and also for holding space in the energetic realms to help create this, because it's not something that I could have done on my own or any of us could have done on our own. So I'm very grateful for your support, your input throughout. So thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so excited. Seriously, and to deck myself out in a really gorgeous outfit for the dance. So it's going to be great.
There is shoes with butterflies on and wings and crowns, and I was like, oh my god. And I've invited my and obviously there's not that many children coming because it's still difficult with your license and all that. So the only child that is coming is my son that's a baby, but my 11-year-old sister. And she's like, and my mum's like, I'll take you on holiday next year. And she goes, I'm not bothered about the holiday. I'm too excited for the ball, mum. I just want my ball gown. She's like, she's so excited for this ball and this ball gown and this experience. And it reminded me the importance of our inner children and bringing them out in this event. Like her little excitement was like, yeah, this is what we need to. Like, let your inner child decide what you're wearing. Let your inner child take charge. There is nothing too extravagant, nothing too overdressed. Go wild, wonderful, and beautiful, activating whatever is calling your heart's desires. It's really going to be one of them events. So I'm truly blessed to have you there, and truly blessed to have everybody there together. And thank you all. And thank you, Z. And we will see you all.
So glad to be there.
Thank you, darling. Bye, guys.